Getting you some stories from Bangladesh now. The country is under severe pressure from rising fuel costs and supply disruptions. Long queues at fuel stations, diesel shortages and frequent power cuts are disrupting daily life and industrial activity across the country. Bangladesh relies heavily on imported fuel. Much of it is linked to supply routes passing through the Strait of Hormuz. The Asian Development Bank has cut its 2026 growth forecast for developing Asia to 4.7%, warning that rising oil prices and tighter financial conditions could fuel inflation across the region. Well, in Bangladesh, the World Bank expects growth to slow as higher energy costs strain public finances and widen economic pressures.
Now, the situation in Bangladesh is that there were pre-existing vulnerabilities and challenges, in particular on the economic and employment front. So the challenge is that the development after the Middle East were actually adding to those challenges.
The crisis is hitting the backbone of Bangladesh's economy, its garment sector. Bangladesh is the world's second largest garment exporter after China, generating nearly $39 billion annually and employing around 4 million workers. Industry leaders warn of major production cuts amid fuel shortages and rising operating costs.
Because of the energy, the production drops about 30 to 40%. And the cost of doing business has increased about 35 to 40% also. The local demand has been dropped because of the inflation's getting high.
Manufacturers are now spending significantly more on diesel generators as electricity shortages worsen, while petroleum-linked raw material costs continue to rise. Businesses also fear that prolonged disruptions could push global buyers towards competing manufacturing hubs.
Materials like swing threads, polybags, cartons, it derives from petroleum. So basically there's a crisis because of the disruption in the raw materials. So all the suppliers have increased their prices of swing threads, polybags, and other accessories items of garments. For that reason, the cost of doing business for exporting the garment have been increased quite significantly in past 1 month.
For ordinary workers and families, the economic fallout is becoming increasingly difficult to manage. Ride-sharing drives in Dhaka say fuel shortages are reducing incomes as they spend hours waiting in queues instead of working.
If this situation continues, we will have to move back to our village and find some other way to earn a living.
The government has already introduced austerity measures. Well, this includes fuel rationing, shorter business hours for shopping malls and shutting fertilizer factories to divert gas supplies towards power generation. Bangladesh may also have to spend an additional $1 billion on LNG subsidies in just 1 quarter if prices remain elevated. Authorities have sought additional fuel supplies from India as concerns grow over prolonged disruptions.